Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 4, day 5. So, in this day's work packet, you have a little book, and it's an informational text. That means it's going to give us information, it's not going to really tell a story. The name of this story, though, is I Like Shapes. So, the book is called I Like Shapes. It's a very short, very easy book. And then we're going to answer some questions about this book. You've done those pages before. But let's read this first. And the very simple thing is I like shapes. We know we're going to have some shape words in this book. And we do. I like circles. And here are some circle shapes. Open your book. I'd fold mine back. I like squares. Let's look at what they're eating here. They're having a sandwich, and their sandwiches are the shape of squares. And it looks like their napkins or plates are also shaped like squares. I like rectangles. Remember, a rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Point to something in the picture that you see that is a rectangle. I'm looking at the food he's eating. I think it's lasagna. Those are rectangles. The pan that it's cooked in is a rectangle. The spatula she's using is a rectangle. The table is even a rectangle. So this guy really likes rectangles. And the very last page, I like triangles. Let's look at what food they're eating in a triangle shape. Okay, so we're going to need to refer back to our book. We're going to need to find the answers to our questions in the book. That's where we'll find the information. But let's read our questions. What food in the story has a triangle shape? What food? So we need to go back to our book and look. Well, it wasn't their cereal. It wasn't their sandwiches. It wasn't the lasagna. Oh, it was the pie. That was the triangle shape. So it was a pie. So the food was a pie, and we need to draw a triangle shape for the pie. Okay, and once you've drawn the picture of the food, answer the second question. We're going to write a word or two to answer this. What is the second shape in the story? Hint, it's on page 2. What is the second shape? All right, well, let's look. Here's the first shape. It was on page 1. There's the page number. We look at page numbers that help us. And here is the second food, the second shape, and that's on page 2. And what shape is that? It is a square. Looks like they have a square table and a square window. They have a lot of square, but it's asking us what shape was on page 2. And the shape name, the name of the shape, another big hint, is right here. In these little words, we can find the word squares. Now you can use your sound chart to sound it out if you want to challenge. Squares. Okay, so do that, or you can just use the reference that you have right here. And let's read the beginning of the sentence and find out what we will write. It is a square. This says a, so it's only one. They want to know just what one is. In the book, it's more than one, so they added S at the end. Square is one square. Squares is more than one, a lot of squares. This says a, so that just means one. And we're going to drop the S off the end. It is a square. And if I'm looking at the word in the book, I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to write my letters in the lines. And that is all we need to write. we do not need to fill up all these lines. They just gave us a lot of room to write our word, but we don't need to use it all. The period is way down here, but let's write it next to our final word, okay? It is a square. The second shape is a square. So that's very easy to do. And our math page is also going to be very easy because we are just taking apart numbers into 10 frames the way we did before. On the front of the page, I've written a number. I wrote the number 15. And if we split it apart, if we take it apart, we would take it apart into these 10 frames by filling up one of the 10 frames because we have 1 10 and we know we're working with numbers greater or more than 10. So here's my 10 and I'm going to write 10 over here. 15 is 10 and how many more should I put in this 10 frame? Think about that. And this number is going to tell me how many go in this 10 frame. And it is a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to write the number 5 here. So the way we're thinking about our 10 frames today is I have a number 15. 15 is 10 and 5 more. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take apart our 10s today. So inside, the 10 frames already have some objects in them. And the number that you are making or taking apart, sorry, you're taking it apart today, is here. So the number we're going to take apart is 11. We're going to take it apart into 10. We know that, and they are tracing this 10 frame, but you don't need to do that on your samples really, unless it helps you. 10. So then I write the number 10. And how many more? 1 more. So 11 is 10 and 1 more, or 10 and 1 more. All right, you guys are really good at this. You're going to do number 12 the same way, and number 13. Flop it over. I'm going to do the same thing here. The numbers given. Describe the 10 frames with numbers. How many are in this 10 frame? How many more? So it would be 10 and more. Okay. Now on the back, they're giving you the number, but they did not put any objects in the 10 frames. That's up to you. This is the number you're making. This is our target number we're making. You don't even really need to know the name of it, but I hope you do. And I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to take apart number 14, and I'm going to make sure that I have that 1 10 frame filled. And that's going to be the first one. Always the first one, because you're writing 10 and some more, okay? You're always doing the 10 first. So 10, oh wait, this sentence says something different. Sorry. This says the number 14 is 10 and some more. I need to see how many more I need to put in this 10 frame, and this number is going to tell me how many. So I will do those in X's for you again, just so they're different. But I do need to write the number 14 again here because the sentence reads, it's a math sentence, but it's still a sentence. 14 is 10 and 4. 10 and 4 more. So do this one the same way. This is your target number 13. So remember, when you read the sentence, number 13 has to begin here. 13 is, and fill in the rest. Okay, well that's all for day 5. I know you've been working really hard and it takes a lot to get these things done. take a little break in between and have a little fun, and then come back to your work each time and be ready to go. And I will see you next time.